Well, and that's the thing. Corporations and everybody else. Now, by the same token, trial lawyers are rolling the dice too. When you go on a Monday morning, let's be honest. A lot of these people have tried to done everything they can to stay off the jury box. They've got to work, they got bills, they've taken care of people that are sick at home, they've got children, and when they come there, a lot of them have said, "Gosh, I got to stay on this jury." So you start with that uphill, and that gun kicks as hard as it shoots.
Yes.
Corporations are worried about a jury's verdict, but so are the trial lawyers. But that's how the system works.
That's if you get two experienced trial lawyers and you develop your case the way it should be, and the laws and our judges allow the case to be developed properly, be it sometimes short of trial or sometimes on the steps of trial, or the case I was involved in Duval County a couple of weeks, we actually tried it for about 5 days, Joe, and settled it on the 5th day of trial. That's the way the system was intended to work, and I will tell you, and that my experience in Duval County just several weeks ago again bears it out. The system works. Quit messing with it, and that's the message we need to get to our legislatures, that it works the way it is. Quit messing with it. Quit taking away rights to victims, and quit taking away this very important power of juries.
Well, when Jason comes on, he does a lot of pharmaceutical litigation. We're going to talk about that and how even the Supreme Court right now has hurt people. And people across their country don't know how their rights are being stripped away. And they're being stripped away every day, little by little. And they say here in Texas, we're not taxing you, we're not going to raise taxes, but they're taxing us to death on traffic tickets. They're saving money by trying to take away decisions from a jury. And tell me about some of the cases that you worked on, the Duval County case that you just finished up, but what kind of cases are you working on where you're seeing that it's an uphill battle for trial lawyers and for the little guy?
Yep. Well, Joe, thank you. Yes, and let me first start by saying I'm a civil litigator. That is, I'm a trial lawyer. I put cases together, I develop the case, I develop the facts. You try to get it fairly and reasonably settled, and if not, just as you do, we go over to the courthouse, we pick a jury, and let the jury decide. And again, most cases will settle prior to that time because that's the way the system was intended and does work. When you go try a case, though, at least right now, although our legislatures are trying to take it away from us, a fair and impartial jury of 12 citizens decides that case. I am what you call double board certified, Joe, in both civil trial law and Texas personal injury law. So I handle a lot of personal injury cases, a lot of people that have been victimized, sometimes as you, even up to the point of death. And it's just an uphill battle from day one. And a large part of this is fostered by our current legislature and the laws that they are passing, taking away these rights. The other part that, as you and I know, makes it tough, when we go pick a jury on Monday morning and you ask them about the McDonald's case or how many are involved in tort reform groups or anti-lawsuit groups, there's just an increasingly and alarmingly number that have been involved in this. And even if they're not involved, there are so many people that have only heard one side of this story. They've only heard the big business side. They've only heard the insurance company side. And you and I are well aware that the insurance industry has put on a large campaign blitz of frivolous lawsuits and tort reform
and
is
lotteries
necessary.
And things like that.
Exactly, Joe. And they're powerful, and they own our legislatures, very many of them. They have unlimited budgets, and they get their message across. And most people that serve as our jurors never really get to hear the other side until they have the actual experience of getting in front of and having to listen to me and you pick a jury and kind of straighten them out as best we can.
And by the time you sit in front of a jury, you've already heard greedy trial lawyer, lawyers that are, sharks, all this stuff. They've attacked lawyers. Whatever happened to Perry Mason, you know?
Exactly.
I mean, exactly.
Yeah, Columbo was my favorite.
Columbo, yeah, I just got one more question. Closing arguments, got a minute flat there. How can they get a hold of you, and how can they get involved and fight for their rights?
Well, Joe, I am honored to represent people that have been victimized by big corporations, big businesses, so on and so forth. You can reach me by calling my law offices in Corpus Christi at 361-884-4433, and I'd be honored and delighted to talk to you. My closing argument is this, Joe. The so-called tort reform, the so-called state emergency, that there is a frivolous lawsuit crisis, that is just a hoax, a masquerade in order to take more and more rights from victims and more power away from juries, which we're constitutionally guaranteed, Joe. And think about it, juries are the only ones. You can't wine and dine a jury. As you know, our rules are very tightly enforced. You can't contact a juror. You can't talk to them during a trial. That is the one true independent voice that we have in America, and that's why big business and big insurance and our conservative Republican legislatures, that's why they want to take the power away from jurors, and it needs to be stopped. Last thing I will say, we talked about the McDonald's coffee case, Joe. If you're interested, and I hope listening to you, Joe, people will get interested. There's a great new documentary, just came out June 27th, called, of all things, Cup of Coffee. I'm sorry, Hot Coffee. Hot Coffee. Yeah. It's excellent. Please take your time to watch this. It really reveals the truth about tort reform and what this dangerous trend that needs to be stopped. And then once you review that, if you're motivated to do so, please, I encourage you, write your legislature, write your congressman. This has to be stopped because you know, life is so uncertain, Joe, and you know, hopefully not, but tomorrow, next week, you know, it could be you or a family member that is wrongfully injured, wrongfully killed, and you need these very important rights.
And I tell everybody, get involved and go to peopleoverprofits.org. That's peopleoverprofits.org. You find out what your legislator is. You find out how to get involved and stand up for your rights, and stand up to insurance companies and corporations that are practicing with impunity.
Thank you for what you do and getting this message out. I'm a big fan of yours and your TV show.
Thanks a lot.
God bless you.
Steve Carrigan, thank you. The Carrigan
Joe.
Law Firm. Keep doing what you're doing and keep beating them up, because, boy, if you don't have that voice for the injured, for the downtrodden, especially now in these economic times that we're down on one knee, get involved. And it's been an honor to have Steve Carrigan on, and the information to get a hold of him and his email and his website are appearing in front of your screen. And don't forget, peopleoverprofits.org. Get involved. We're going to take a brief break. When we come back, bring out a good friend of mine, Jason Charles Webster, fighting on the pharmaceutical front and telling you what's going on in the latest with the Supreme Court when we come back.